Hello, everybody, and welcome back into Eager Saturnalia. Game number 1 just wrapped up between FeelingPumped and CycloneGG, and Cyclone emerged with victory. I'm still D Sinks, and joining me is F. Dot one more time. And F. Dot, game number 2 about to get underway.
Yes.
And I'm very excited to be getting on in here. It was a very close game number 1, pretty much all the way through. Cyclone, they were able to find the smaller objectives and burst out in the end. And Terra going to be immediately taken off the board here. Cyclone, they're not feeling it. They don't want to deal with Trix's Terra one more time.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Nike also banned, so we don't get to see the new one.
Yeah, one more time. Again, Nike's been banned pretty much all of today. Nobody wants to deal with this character. They're all very, very afraid of this Nike right now, with good reason. And Zeus is going to be the one taken off the board by Cyclone.
I'm so happy. So y'all know how me and Kret are like boys, and we have like long history with Smite. Our first talk show was called Ban Zeus. So I love when Zeus gets banned. I always just say Ban Zeus in my head.
And Freya is going to be the one taken off here, so they're going to follow it up with the Freya ban. They think that Vote, well, they're going to challenge Vote. Maybe he'll try and play a different magical ADC to still allow Wlfy to play that Hoi mid. Maybe Wlfy will just play it anyways, but they're going to take their chances here, leaving that available. And now the ball is in Cyclone's court. They're going to first pick a Nemesis here coming out for iceicebaby.
Ooh, very interesting. And again, iceicebaby, it's so interesting. iceicebaby winds up being a hard carry jungler despite the fact that he doesn't pick hard carry choices. We saw him last time on the Monkey, and here he is on the Nemesis, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off.
Indeed, and Erlang Shen is going to be the lock-in here for FeelingPumped. They're going to take that one away from Deathwalker and Bacchus. That's going to go over the way of Trixtank. Trix has always loved this character, and Erlang, a little bit of a flex pick, but it does feel like a Ducky God to me.
We'll see. I don't know. Ducky, actually, yeah, you know what? You know what, these things? I'll give it to you. Ducky on the Erlang Shen, I like you said, it is flex. We don't know where it's going to go, but Ducky likes characters that he can really leverage and be powerful on. So, yeah, you know what? We'll see.
No ambiguity here, though. Jing going to get locked in, almost undoubtedly going to go the way of Vote here, and it's going to be Athena as well. So that's your duo lane locked in. Callus and Vote, they're going to be taking Athena, Jing. Well, you can get around the map pretty quickly with that duo lane.
Yeah, I mean, Callus is going to be flying all
Aphrodite is going to be making her way into the battleground of the gods. That doesn't feel like a Ducky God to me at all. Could go mid still. We don't have any other magical characters, but I am excited. Aphrodite, one of my diamond characters. I love Aphrodite. She's been one of my favorite characters in Smite forever. Camazotz, he's going to get taken off the table.
You know, that brings up an interesting point. I want to ask you, D-Sinks.
What's that?
Why?
Well, I imagine this... I don't think that the game plan is going to be quite clear yet. I mean, Aphrodite, Erlang, Bacchus,
why do you like Aphrodite?
Oh, why do I like Aphrodite? She's fun. She's great.
Excellent analysis. Way to go.
She's a great character. Well, listen, she is a fun character. Is Odin going to get banned away? They don't want to have Aphrodite caged in by the monster that is Odin. She's a fun character, and anything else is irrelevant. And now, one more time, it's going to be thrown over Cyclone. They have another ban, and they're going to take away from Bats.
Yeah, no Hun Bats. He's just too disruptive, and I always like a second round Hun Bats ban, because Hun Bats is one of these characters that fits into every single composition. You can sort of throw a wrench into the enemy composition.
And it's going to be Raijin going to be the final ban here. A little bit surprised. I think there's other Wlfy gods that you can ban away that are going to be more effective, and that's why you see the Aphrodite come out. Chronos going to be locked in here for Dimi.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. Dimi has had a Chronos. I believe he's played it in the solo lane before, but really this is a hyper carry magical ADC, and with an Aphrodite linked to him, he is going to be incredibly strong. And speaking of favorite characters, Thoth is going to get locked in. This is my Kazoo Birdo. Let's go Cyclone.
I love his little plague doctor beak. I think it's very awesome. I like the way he walks as well. But realistically, bringing it back to the game, Thoth is a character that doesn't do anything until you fall over dead. Like
until you have a one shot or nothing.
Yeah, he's got the little ROM roll, and his like fake Isis spirit bolt. Like his fake Isis one is annoying, but not. And then you just get shot in the brain with the ultimate, and you're like, oh, that's why you picked it.
And the final two picks here are going to be Ymir and Tyr here, going out, one for Cyclone, one for FeelingPumped. Yeah, Thoth is a character that doesn't have really any early pressure, but then he just hits a point where all of a sudden you get hit by that ultimate, you're dead. It doesn't matter if you're a squishy character or a frontliner, you just die. And Thoth, one of my personal favorite characters in Smite right now, I'm going to be getting him to Diamond this weekend thanks to the 3x Worshippers, and you can go ahead and round up some diamonds for yourself here. Three times Worshippers throughout now through Monday. So go ahead and get the masteries grinded out while you can, as we're going to be cutting into game here very, very shortly. Two of my favorite characters are going to be squaring off against each other in the mid lane.
These are like two of my least favorite characters. Why do you like Thoth so much?
Because he's fun. You know, you're just sitting there and then you just one-shot somebody and then you spam laugh on. Well, no, you clap. The Thoth clap is great. Probably the best BM clap in Smite right now, honestly. In my opinion, anyways. It's just very slow. It's like, good for you. It's a great clap. What a good character.
Excellent analysis one more time. Game number 2, and we've got FeelingPumped versus CycloneGG, and this is the point where I'm going to ask my co-caster something.
What are you going to ask me after that?
Which team is which?
The order team is Cyclone here.
That's
with blinding out with all their characters. Wlfy here, he's going to be manning the Thoth. So we've seen a little bit of Thoth play today, not a tremendous amount behind the scenes. I've seen a little bit more than I think other people have. And really the problem that plagues Thoth, and the reason I don't think that he's going to be a very viable character moving forward for the meta that we're currently in, is that he just gives up all early pressure for really the first 6 levels. You just can't do anything because you just can't clear that effectively. You give up a lot. And Wlfy manning this one, especially with a Nemesis in the jungle versus the Erlang Shen, who will be going over the way of CaptainTwig. Should note that I said that felt like a Ducky God, but it's going to be a Twiggy God this time around. That's going to be a lot of pressure here, and the Thoth is going to have to be very, very careful, even laning against the Aphrodite.
Yeah, I mean, you've got Ducky on the tier. I'm already afraid. I mean, Ducky's tier is very, very powerful. This rookie kind of made a name for himself on characters like tier that can be aggressive but also support. Watch that right side, though. A little bit of an invade coming out. You can see CaptainTwig already half HP. Deathwalker is going to get blocked out a little bit, but he'll be safe.
Yeah, they want to take away that blue buff from Ymir, hold that Thought. Wlfy, he rotates on over, tries to contest the elementals a little bit, not going to be able to. Deathwalker, still no blue buff to his name, no real mana sustain on this character, not quite like even a Sobek in the Soul Lane without his blue buff. I mean, once he hits level 5, he'll have that ult. Deathwalker kind of just going to be left without any mana here, has to play very, very back, which he is doing right now. Gonna let Ducky take advantage of the lane pressure and just wait everything out.
Yeah, it's painful for Deathwalker. He played the green Ymir. He didn't link his Twitch account just yet, I guess.
Did not, in order to snag that, get a chance at snagging that Twitch Ymir. And meantime, Wlfy in the mid lane, he's so far okay. Fortunately for him, he is against an Aphrodite who also doesn't have a tremendous amount of lane pressure in that early game. Though certainly, it's been a little bit since I've played Afro in the mid lane, specifically not since the Thoth buffs.
What are you doing? Going for the back RP invade. iceicebaby going to stiff him out, and CaptainTwig, the chaser's on. He's on the right side. He's getting dashed through. He's going to walk around with his dog, turn into a turtle, and here comes Wlfy. He's going to shoot him in the face, and CaptainTwig just walking. Deathwalker here has got to make a play. Nice wall. There's a freeze, and this is definitely going to be first blood. CaptainTwig going to fall down soon. There's the Afro ultimate. Never mind. Level 5 in the mid lane saves CaptainTwig off of a interesting invade.
So the invade didn't end up going badly, but Twig, it seems in the absence of his normal hold that thought, Trixtank hits the 3-man knockup. Wlfy just going to get a race. Aphrodite going to get the first blood of the game onto Thoth, and now they're going to push forward in the mid lane right now. Twig going to get healed up. That was a 3-man flop coming out from Trix out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was a big play, a very big play, because actually I'm going to go ahead and disagree with you. That invade actually went poorly because CaptainTwig winds up wasting his time. If that kill doesn't happen in the mid lane, I mean, you're looking at a very bad situation. CaptainTwig, level 4. If they don't get that kill in the mid lane for the first blood, CaptainTwig is a level and a half behind, and then it just becomes a snowball.
Right, except for the fact, hold that thought, Deathwalker gonna hit a wall, no more mana available for him, unfortunately. CaptainTwig just lives below a quarter HP, it seems, this particular matchup. But the thing is, I would agree with you there, except for the fact that Ice was the character to chase him down. So he just kind of ended up leading his jungler or his opposing jungler in a big circle. Didn't lose a tremendous amount off of it, and they did ultimately get the kill. just exactly as they drew it up, and it's going to be Cyclone. They're going to try and drop a speed buff invade.
Yeah, there it goes. Here comes Wlfy with the ultimate, and he doesn't shoot it. So on the other hand, beautiful Fearless coming out from the tier, going to control 2 players. One gets out on the left, the other gets out on the right. So Ducky, great play, but it's going to be much ado about nothing.
Body blocks.
On the other hand, too deep without a paddle.
And it's going to be his death there. The bird's going to get it. Aphrodite is online, everybody. 2 kills to nulisa's name right now. She's going to find herself at a very, very good lead against this Thoth very early on. Has a level up right now. And Aphrodite is a character, the later the game goes, just the worse and worse the fact that an Aphrodite is on the team is going to get for you. She is such a scary character in the end game, able to immune out damage, heal up, stun, increase damage of her carries. And when your carry is a Chronos, you don't want him to get any more damage than he already has.
Exactly. So when you take the Aphrodite in the mid lane, you're basically going to give up, you're giving up that big mage burst, right? She's got a little bit of a dot, but she doesn't have the giant Kamigawa, whatever the anime term is for the ultimate out of Wlfy. There's no big AoE that we saw like Wlfy's Yi last time. So it's a different style of play. Instead of looking for these area denial fights, I would like to see FeelingPumped shy away from the Gold Fury fights and instead wait until the mid game where Dimi just becomes a one-man wrecking ball.
Yeah, and speaking of one-man wrecking balls, I mean, on this Thoth, we're talking about the Thoth big ultimate that he has on him. If you ult into that Afro ult, it just doesn't matter. Aphrodite can completely make that ultimate useless from Thoth because she can just immune it out, and that's totally fine by nulisa. After Thoth ult is down, yes, they do still have the Jing, who is still an incredibly scary character in the endgame, especially being piloted by Vote, who is a super hard carry for this team. But still, if you can get rid of Thoth ult, that character doesn't do a tremendous amount more after his ultimate is down, while still being very, very painful. Your second best source of damage is your dash, and you don't want to use that aggressively.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, basically, if you want to compare thoughts on some of the characters, right, you're going to go right to the burst characters, but I actually go to Giannis because Giannis is another character that doesn't have a lot of damaging abilities, right? Threshold doesn't do damage, and while Portal does damage, it doesn't, you're not going to see players use Portal for damage. So Wlfy's in the same situation.
Oh, hold that thought. Ducky actually in the solo lane looking for the 2v1 kill. Gonna find it on the Deathwalker. iceicebaby is gonna look to dunk down Athena. Callus is now here. The big heal comes out from Ducky. He could make it out of this one alive. Fearless knockup, but it won't be enough. The archers will finish it off, but finds the 2v1 kill. Ducky got ganked and made it a 1-for-1 trade.
You're really gonna cut me off like that?
I mean, I'm sorry. I had to call out the hype, F-Dot. Listen, I'll do it again.
Gold Fury left side, however, there's an ultimate, not going to secure it quite just
Cyclone
yet.
got it.
Cyclone gets the Gold Fury. Quick little steal, and CaptainTwig might lose his life for it. Beautiful taunt. Callus gets it, and Trixtank cleans up the kill.
In the meantime, however, Ice did fall on that Nemesis there. Callus pressing forward. Dimi gonna look to stun out Vote. However, nice purification. He's gonna eat the damage, but just Shell was good. The stun is better. The knockback, the best. nulisa will be the one to find the kill there. And now it's gonna be a red buff invade for them. Despite the fact that they lost the Gold Fury heals is here, still not too bad. Once again, we're at an even ball game.
Yeah, FeelingPumped. That's really rough. That was their segue into the mid game. They were looking to get that Gold Fury and give themselves a nice little lead. And Cyclone, luckily for them and their fans, were able to snap it back and tie the game. FeelingPumped's gotta not feel pumped about that one. I'm sorry, guys.
All right, gonna segue away from that one and talk about CaptainTwig here a little bit, because this is so on the team of Obey, which Twig normally plays on in the Pro League. The way that team dynamic seems to be is Variety and Panda just stand out in front of absolutely everybody and just, well, sometimes they just die for it because they just always play so incredibly aggressive, and Twig's the one hanging back, doing what he can to keep people alive. This time around, though, it seems stripped away from their presence. Twig is the one who wants to just take the fight every single time. We've seen every single engagement in this game be initiated really by CaptainTwig, except for that 3-man flop from Trix.
And that's been the maturation of CaptainTwig. right there. 2016 in a nutshell for you, if you're a CaptainTwig fan, is his transition from when he was on SK, or excuse me, Fnatic. He was not the star of the team, and then when he came on to Obey, he had to sort of learn how to play aggressive, and we saw that sort of gradually, and now you saw it in the fall split, and here in the Saturnalia, he's just absolutely incredibly aggressive.
Side note, Trixtank did just break the link from Aphrodite. Worst player, EU, as he's going to flop onto Wlfy and take a lot of damage going away from Wlfy there. Trix, he's going to have to back up away from iceicebaby. Protections are stripped. Votes made the rotation, and that's going to be the first kill in this fight.
Love the play coming out of VoteNBK, able to make the wraparound and get the kill on the backside. That's going to be the third kill for CycloneGG. Tie game, as we said. And everybody's going to go their separate ways after that one.
Something else that I want to note here is this choice of Ymir for the solo lane. This seems to be something that EU loves really more than NA. I mean, even Divios, he's only played it once, really. He's the big Guardian player in North America right now. But Deathwalker on this Ymir is pretty much what was a huge part of what got Cyclone into the Pro League in the first place. Deathwalker has always loved playing this Ymir, and as far as Ymir solos go, I've only ever truly enjoyed his. I think that this is exactly the type of character. I like his Ymir because I think that it lets him be this CC setup guy. I'm going to make an impact in the team fight, but it's not going to be the hard carry. And I just think it fits his playstyle so incredibly well. Definitely better than the Erlang did.
Okay, listen, I got to blast you real quick.
Are you going to blast me, F-Dot? Am I going to get a good roasting?
You don't. What about Variety's Ymir?
I totally forgot Variety was a person. I totally forgot.
You forgot about Variety.
Totally forgot Variety was a person. Just talking about it. Okay, Variety's Ymir is great. Variety's Ymir is great. Variety's Ymir is what helped Obey really beat Orbit there. But so that is besides the point. The first Ymir that I fell in love with, and the only Ymir for a long time, was Deathwalker, because it just
left side, Dimi in trouble. Ultimate's down. There comes Kalis. The taunt not going to be there just yet. Beads already burned. Dimi's in trouble. 4 players on top. Down goes the Chronos. Let's go home.
Kazoo Birdo going to go ahead and find himself a kill there. Wlfy, he's got the Divine Ruin online, and I really do like this pickup because for some reason, a lot of people don't get it. Hold that thought. Deathwalker, he could be in a lot of trouble here. Freeze not going to connect. Intoxicate is going to connect. Deathwalker running away, but you can't get away from Twig. He's going to swing on down, and he will get the kill ultimately. Kalis now going to hit a 2-man taunt, but there's no follow-up. He's going to get pushed against the wall. The taunt comes out again, and Kalis is just being pulled every which way.
He's still alive for the moment. Nice little front flip, and Nulisa's going to secure it. iceicebaby gets down with Ducky, and Trixtank running around the circle, trying to find a way out. And Iceice has to pick a target. He can't choose, and he gets out of there.
So I was mentioning the Divine Ruin. I was going to say I really like the pickup because for some reason a lot of people, they don't end up getting that. Twig running away from 2 people should be okay here. But Divine Ruin, I really like it on Thoth because it's very easy to apply thanks to his glyph and his hieroglyphic assault. But it will still let him one-shot in the end game. In that fight, Wlfy hit 3 people with the ultimate, and it sort of didn't really do what you want a 3-man Thoth ult to do. So in the end game, he will still be fine, but right now he's going to eat a huge damage delay thanks to that Divine Ruin.
Yeah, Divine Ruin's one of these items that, you know, you never want to buy it, but you're forced into it with Nulisa on the Aphrodite, and immediately, anytime you are able to make somebody divert from their game plan, you're automatically doing it right. So this Aphrodite pick, has it worked? I mean, you got to say it's already made Cyclone play differently, at the very least.
Yeah, and I will honestly say, hold that thought, Vote actually going to find the kill over on the left side against Dimi. Vote's been very, very successful so far this game. 3-1-2 for the Jing player, and 0-2-1 in the meantime for Dimi. Vote's really, he's putting on a show for us today.
Yeah, and that's no surprise for me. VoteNBK is a great player, and when you have these sort of tournaments where the teams aren't as solidified as we're used to seeing in the Pro League, and everybody's sort of out and about, it lets these strong players that are on not as strong teams really shine. Vote being one of these main people.
Yeah, Vote, Wlfy have both looked very, very good today. Iceice as well. Iceice actually had a time period where he was the #1 ranked player in the world, but was just kind of this name for me being an NA player who really didn't know a lot about the EU rank scene or amateur scene at all. It was just kind of like, who is this guy sitting on top? Whose Smurf is this? And it's nobody's Smurf. It's just a player trying to make their way into the Pro League right now. And Ice, he found his way in and really has put up a lot of impressive performances. Cyclone overall have a lot of very good players. They kind of lack the team thing in the SPL, but right now they're looking really good against Feeling Pumped.
Yeah, the ranked stuff is always interesting because when it comes down to it, like mechanics are of course very important, but ranked creates such bad habits. And just because you're on the top of the ranked charts, I mean, Jiffy was #1 in the world for a period of time, and where is he? Right. So when it comes down to like seeing play, I like the mention, but it's always so interesting to see how ranked superstars translate into team play.
Yeah, and so far, I mean, this entire set, so far, it's mostly been working out for Ice, but they do find themselves at a little bit of a deficit here. Actually, gold-wise, no, actually, they are still in the lead. Kill-wise, they're at a deficit, 1,500 XP, 600 gold. Not a whole lot one way or the other here. And really, it's been a lot off of the play of Nulisa as Callus. He might be caught out of position here.
Yeah, Callus went for the taunt, but iceicebaby was a couple of steps behind, not close enough. And now the initiation from CycloneGG doesn't look to be fruitful. Iceice going to get Trixtank low, but ultimately no kills just yet. Ducky makes the rotation. Love the rotation, but it's a little bit too late. So Ducky not able to make the impact.
And no kills actually ends up benefiting Feeling Pumped a tremendous amount thanks to that Aphrodite pick here. Nulisa playing very, very aggressively, looking to do what she can. Vote now being boxing out with CaptainTwig. They'll all back off, but what I was going to say is that Nulisa has made people change the way that they've played. She's going for a very utilitarian build. She's 4-0-1 still, and it's just been a great game for the Aphrodite player here, and a nice ultimate to cleanse away that taunt.
CaptainTwig going to run away, 25% HP, and he'll be safe. Wlfy, he put up the window. I thought he was going to shoot out the ultimate, but decides not to. Instead, walks by himself to the red buff. Good thing he's got that dash. That was a little aggressive right there. He'll be safe and sound.
Yeah, Thoth, a very safe mage as long as your dash is still, as long as you have two abilities, as long as your dash and your glyph are up. Trixtank, he's going to look to go in while they were doing the Gold Fury. He's going to have to jump away. A nice pin coming out of CaptainTwig to keep everybody safe right now. Gold Fury being started up. Dimi looking to press forward here a little bit. This could end up being a huge team fight.
Yeah, got half HP on the Gold Fury. Cyclone not willing to leash it just yet. Trixtank looking for the flop, coming off in the corner. There comes CaptainTwig. There goes CaptainTwig. Wlfy blows him up. Right, left side, there's iceicebaby, relatively low, 10%. And here comes Trixtank looking for the ultimate. Gets 4, but that's that. Over the top comes Ducky. Beautiful hit out of the tier, but it's just not going to be enough. Knockup is going to send Cyclone back into the fight, but it's going to put them out on the retreat as well. Wlfy's in trouble.
He's knocked up again. Deathwalker, everybody's so low. It's going to be iceicebaby. A good Fearless comes out from the side of Ducky. Dimi going to find Vote in the meantime. Everybody has to run away. That fight, everybody was hanging around with incredibly low health bars. And at the end of the day, when you have low health, the team with an Aphrodite is going to be the team that comes out on top. Nulisa keeping everybody alive for as long as she had to. Twig sat almost dead throughout the entire mid lane engagement just beforehand. She kept them around. Twig dies there, and then all of a sudden she's like, okay, Dimi, Trix, Ducky, who needs my healing next? I'm going to make sure everybody's alive.
Hey, these things.
Yeah.
Yo, can you tell me that healing done? I have no idea how to bring it up.
All right, healing done right now for Aphrodite. If you go ahead and click on F3, 8,000 player healing right now. And looking at player damage, she's healing. She's not out healing any of the carries for Cyclone quite yet. 9k damage for Ice, and then 10k for the likes of Wlfy and for Vote. But still, an incredibly good game, and that healing has really come through when it mattered most.
Yeah, I mean, that AK healing is very important. And we saw her. I mean, I called the definite first blood that definitely wasn't first blood because she ulted CaptainTwig. The Aphrodite has absolutely already made an impact. Now, D6, how do I get back to the other screen off of
F2 is going to be where you go there. It has been a while since F. has had to do this on his own, so I'm going to go ahead and apologize on behalf of my co-caster.
And I won't apologize.
About 3 years. I'm going to apologize because I care about our viewers. And now Wlfy, he's going to look forward. Twiggy, he wants some aggression here. Wants a lot of aggression here. Going in, dash already down. Wlfy, there's nowhere for you to go. Rampage for the Aphrodite in the mid lane. Nulisa strutting her stuff.
How happy are you that Afro was like 5-0 after I rashed you for liking Afro?
Well, because Aphrodite is a great character, and she doesn't care about the fact that you hate her.
Well, so
that's the kind of woman she is.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, as fabulous as she is, this is where she shines in this mid game where her damage is relevant and she's able to really impact these team fights and this, that, and a third. Gold Fury is going to go down, feeling pumped. Is going to secure for themselves. But I'm curious about the late game when players are getting blown up by Thoth. The birds don't matter. You get one ultimate and it's on one person. That's what I'm curious. So right now, the Afro's flexing. This is when she's supposed to flex. I want to see in 5 to 10 minutes what happens.
Well, I'm going to counter you one more time here. Yes, it is kind of towards that end game where it's like, well, you know, Thoth, he's going to blow people up and you only get one ultimate. Well, how many ultimates does Thoth get? Because he only has one as well. And this is not going to be a character that you're going to see that CDR on. Unlike Aphrodite, she will have the opportunity to ult the Thoth ult and ult again. You can tell when it's going to get shot off. The trick is going to be not getting baited by those charge ups for Wlfy here, which he hasn't really been using too much. He's kind of more been like, not just been sitting there like, I'm going to ult, yeah, I'm going to ult. He's just like, I'm ulting you. And there's not really been a mind game played. But in the end game, nulisa, yes, her damage won't be as relevant. Dimi's will be incredibly relevant. Yes, she could, in theory, get dove on. She has an ultimate. She has a stun. She has a knockback. She can heal. That is the key thing. They're not going to look to take these huge 5v5 team fights. They're just going to look to poke out and sustain through.
Oh, Feeling Pumped really wanted to invade that. You can see them all group up. CaptainTwig going to go with the blink. Finds a nice ultimate on the taunt. There's to help out for the mid laner. Belly Flop's going to catch two. iceicebaby going to exit on the right-hand side. And the partner's going to go on the left. VoteMBK dives in the middle of this. Deathwalker coming from the right and Dimi from the left. Dimi's playing it careful and Deathwalker not so much. I guess that's the difference between Chronos and Ymir. But all in all, not going to be a big deal here on the left side, despite how much Feeling Pumped, like, they wanted to start that team fight. They forced it, and Cyclone denied it. I love the discipline out of the blue team.
Yeah, but it looks like they're going to force a fight one more time. 5 are in the mid lane right now. They're looking at this tower. Dimi switching over to that blue stance. He's going to be tanking this up. They're just going to look to throw in the shots. Nice wall, though, from Deathwalker to prevent Dimi from really being able to put the work in. Purification Force, 3-man taunt comes out. nulisa going to have to ult onto the back end, trying to keep people alive. Wlfy's the one who finds himself in the most trouble, and Ducky's going to be the one to claim the first blood in this engagement.
iceicebaby's low as well. Everybody low, so that's going to be a tier 1 tower going to Feeling Pumped. With 20 minutes on the clock, that'll be our first mid lane tower going down. Solo side did fall down a little bit earlier, and that's going to give Feeling Pumped a little bit of a lead. You can see about 3,500 gold going the way of the red squad.
Indeed. Game going to be paused here. We're going to go into a quick pause coming out from iceicebaby. Cyclone looks like they've got a couple issues that they want to sort out here, so we're going to throw it to a quick break screen, and then we're going to continue talking about the game through it because it shouldn't be too long. Hopefully it won't be too long of a pause here. But so far in this game, I mean, it has been Feeling Pumped starting the fights, going through the fights, and ending the fights, really. And a lot of it has been nulisa just not letting anybody die.
It's also been Twig. Great taunts coming out of CaptainTwig. Strong knockups as well. But in all honesty, the Hindu man in me has to point out Trixtank. Supports don't get the love they're deserved, and Trixtank has been finding 2 3-man knockups with the belly flop, and that's what's setting everything up for Feeling Pumped. Trixtank is in vintage form in this game. I love it.
Yeah, and something else to note here really is the combination. I mean, yes, Trixtank, I mean, he has hit 2-3 people with so many belly flops and so many successful team fights for Feeling Pumped. And something else that I want to do note here is that Twiggy's been starting a lot of the fights, and it has been in terms of, and then it has been nulisa just bailing him out when he goes in too long. So, I mean, it's just overall going in. It looks like we're out of the pause, so we're going to be throwing it back on into the game here. And looks like nulisa, she's finished off a Rod of Asclepius for herself.
I love that item. It's a ton of power. She's going to get movement speed as well, so that's also pretty sweet. nulisa's build in general, like you said, very utility based. Honestly, the winged wand, the winged blade, excuse me, is definitely just to get her out of jail. There's a lot of slows on the enemy team, specifically
Nemesis.
looking at that Nemesis. So very important to get that one, and then the follow up with the Void Stone. Just trying to stay as that support mage, because like you said, the damage is going to come from other places, mainly looking at Dimi.
I will say the one thing that concerns me about Feeling Pumped's team comp, despite how excited I am to see Aphrodite, is physical damage, that's really going to come off the back of Erlang here, who's the one building that damage build. You have the Ichabal, you have the Executioner, attack speed boots. Witchblade is kind of hybrid-y, so is Wingblade, but even with that, I'm still worried. I don't think Erlang is the only physical damage source that you really want on your team unless you can get this huge lead, which if you take a look at the graphs, 3,500 gold, 4,500 experience, that is definitely a fairly large lead for Fairly Pumped.
It's interesting. You bring up the fact that there's a lack of physical damage, but yet you still see you still see the Heartward coming out, or rather the Sovereignty coming out from the enemy support. You still see the Witchblade, which of course is more about Dimi's attack speed than anything else, but the enemy team is still buying into some physical protection, and they're going to need it because CaptainTwig swinging like a hammer. Deathwalker is going to be the first one to fall. Great knock up one more time from the other side, however. And Feeling Pumped, they're going to have 5 players here on the right-hand side, only 4 to defend. Make that 3 because the mid laners are over there.
Wlfy hit the 7-10 split, shot his ultimate going right through the middle of everybody. Nobody ends up getting hit by that ultimate. Dimi grouping up or standing alone in the mid lane. He's going to look to take the fight with Wlfy, and Wlfy down to half health. Wlfy down to no health. Dimi just blows him up into the back line. Goes Trix, and nulisa is going to be the one who gets the kill on the Ice-Icebaby. The tier 2 tower going to be the reward that Feeling Pumped take for themselves after that successful engagement.
CaptainTwig caught the Nemesis dash with the Erlang Shen pin. GG.
Twig's a god.
Love
GG easy. Twig has had himself, it's been a very aggressive game where Twig's kind of never taken his foot off the gas, but he's had himself a fantastic game here going on this Erlang. Shown a lot of proficiency with it, and that is just a monstrous amount of attack speed. Deathwalker going to be the one walking forward here. He might have to be a little bit careful. Ducky ends up being the one needing a lot of poke on one side. Twiggy still pushing forward on the Deathwalker, who just can't get away from this Erlang.
Yeah, Deathwalker going to put up a great wall, but here comes Trixtank right over it just to annoy him. CaptainTwig going to chase under the tower, but not too far. And Feeling Pumped started the Fire Giant there. Ducky was zoning, but got himself into too much trouble, so the team had to pull off and bail him out. Because of that, they're going to get the tower instead. Beautiful talk coming out of Collis, and there is Trixtank. Trace knockup right there. Deathwalker going to be chased down, and again, a strong wall.
Dimi going to be the one pushing forward now. Ducky going to look for a blink and comes out, knocked up Twiggy. He's going to take Deathwalker. The ultimate comes out from Wlfy, but it just doesn't matter. He only hits Trey. Callis gets the nice knockup, and now it is going to be the follow-up. However, coming out from Feeling Pumped, you can't kill anybody with an Aphrodite there, and now Feeling Pumped, they have every advantage in the world. Dimi just going to rewind to get himself a little bit of HP and walk away from this engagement.
Big man on campus. It's all about Trixtank right now. I'm watching this Bacchus right now. We don't have the stat for successful belly flops, but it's been outlandish watching him play. 1-1-12 right now for the support player on Feeling Pumped, and he is absolutely incredible right now. The majority of Feeling Pumped's successes have been off of him. I mentioned it earlier, and it's still the case. It's 16-7, and the reason that you're seeing double the amount of kills on the side of the red team is because Trixtank is able to control multiple people. Collis is finding excellent taunts, but the follow-up isn't there the way Feeling Pumped is.
Yeah, Callis, what really honestly it is Callis goes in, he's like, I got 4 people, and then he looks to his left, and Trix knocked up 3 people, and Callis is the only one left alone. I'm almost inclined to say that he needs to taunt Trix away from these fights because these knockups are just spelling such quick disaster for Cyclone in all of these engagements here. They're fighting into it to the best of their abilities, but they're just getting beat down. And if they can't find those quick burst kills, then Aphrodite's just going to heal everybody up, and you're just in for a long day.
Yeah, I mean, you really just got to get the spread. Basically what happened is Cyclone, they're just grouping up too hard. I mean, Trixtank, I'm celebrating him because he's taking advantage of the opportunity. But at the end of the day, Trixtank can't get multiple knockups if Cyclone aren't holding hands.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Cyclone, they might
Collis. Collis. Okay, safe.
He's safe, and Dimi might not be. Actually, he's going to have to rewind on back here. Goes right on up to full HP, but Ice has not given this up quite yet. Wlfy going to get stunned out. Rotation has come in. Twiggy, he's going to blink in. He's going to taunt down, and Wlfy going to drop. Trixtank getting himself the kill. Turnabout has started. Ice-Icebaby going nowhere except to a lost screen. Surrender comes out from CycloneGG, and everybody, we're going to game number 3.
Surrender. Oh, boy.
I mean, that Cyclone's not coming back into that game. Not at that point. Not with a Chronos, not with the Bacchus, not with the Aphrodite. I mean, it was just too much to fight into, and they just couldn't do it. Their chance to pick Dimi was the best chance that they were going to get, and they didn't, and they were unable to get it thanks to just that rewind. I mean, we didn't even have to talk about the Chronos rewind because so many other things were going right for the side of Feeling Pumped. And, well, they certainly showed off a fantastic game number 2. What's going on?
That's how I feel about that, sir. I mean, so grand scheme of things, right? It's the semifinals, best of 3, and it's like if this was like Super Pro League or like these teams were playing for like $100,000, I would argue that surrender. I think that Dimi's scary, but he's 3-2-4, right? He hasn't really launched off just yet. Nulisa, she had a fantastic game. She absolutely had a fantastic game. But like I said, coming to the late game, I mean, she ain't a Ra. She's going to be able to heal one guy. She's not a Geb. She's going to be able to immune one guy. And so late game, I think you can punish the Aphrodite. I think there is some punish there, but like I said, grand scheme of things, Cyclone goes, oops, we messed that up. Let's try again.
Cyclone did not end up having faith with their team composition that they had put forth, which I do agree. It just wasn't a team. I think I love the character more than anything else, but Thoth just couldn't do anything in that particular game. Never got his damage online. The Divine Rune delayed him too much, and we saw him hit some ultimates at the end of the game, and it just kind of tickled people. So, just throw away, redo. We still have a game number 3, and I want to shout out Team Eager for being able to bring us this particular event here. Shout out to Eager. You can check them out on their Twitter at EGR World, and you can also check out their store, teameagerstore.com. And I also want to thank hi-rez for allowing Eager the opportunity to put forth Saturnalia.
Oh, this is when you said that I have to.
Yeah, I'm throwing it to you, F. Dot. I'm throwing it to you. You're the hi-rez guy.
Right. Yeah, hi-rez. Thank you for making a cool game and letting us do this thing on the TV. Hi-rez on the Twitch.tv thing. It's very cool. I appreciate it. Shout outs to Adonis1 in chat. Hindu Man's in England. That's why he's not casting. But you've got Fat Egg Aggro coming up soon as well, so don't worry.
Yes, Aggro will be in for the finals, but we still have
no. Fat Egg Aggro. That's his name.
Fat Egg Aggro will be in for the finals. However, for right now, we're going to throw it to a break, and we'll be right back with the deciding game of this semifinals match.